1-800-952-7729. You will not be on the air, so don't worry about spreading your business, but you can ask me any questions you want. You'll get no harassment with me. This is the best place where you can get free information, but it's the hidden truth. It's stuff about the reverse mortgage that banks don't want you to know and mortgage brokers don't want you to know. I am a mortgage broker, though. I am a licensed loan officer in the DMV, also Pennsylvania, California, but I focus here in Washington, D.C., but I do go to see my clients even in California. But this show is just about spread the truth. It's about telling you things that nobody else wants you to know, because if they arm you with this valuable information, you're going to know what you're entitled to. And when you know what you're entitled to, and when you find out what they, the bank or that loan officer, should be giving you financially as far as the best deal for you, that is going to make your situation the best for you, not for the bank. When they don't tell you this information, they hide it purposely, because that way it doesn't interfere with their pocket. So my goal is to take greed, put it on the side, throw it out the door, and to put Christ first. And I am your Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. Please look at my YouTube videos that I do. Please look at my The Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man Facebook page also, because I put videos up there. We do a lot of seminars, and a lot of these seminars can be found on my YouTube videos of The Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. We're hitting so many seminars at a lot of different wellness centers, a lot of the different senior centers, and all the wards. We're doing the health fair coming up on my birthday, May 19th. That's the 19th Street Baptist Church Health Fair Senior Expo on 16th Street, because remember, it moved over there. So you can check me out there. I'll be talking a little, but I'll be there. My sister will be there. My mother will be there. It's a great place to ask me any questions you want. But definitely give me a call. So mark that down on your calendars, May 19th. May 19th is that Health Fair Expo. Today we're going to actually be talking about something we've talked about in the past, but we're going to add a new little spin to it. And it's a little bit of a spin of major truth that, here's another thing people just don't know. And it's going to be about making those payments on a reverse mortgage and why you should do so. And this, that they are tax deductible. Okay, so we're going to get into that. First, our prayer list, if I can find it. Oh boy, where did my prayer list go? Okay, well, yeah, there we go. Okay, great. We have the Barnes family, the Burnley family. We have Miss Prue, Miss Gloria. We also have Mrs. Dempsey, Molly, Mary. Remember, we lost them over a month ago. Keep them in your prayers and the family in your prayers. Mr. Robinson, Mr. Thrower, Suzette in San Diego. Kenny, still need prayers for him whose uncle died, but also he's going through a lot of personal stuff. Keep him in your prayers. Miss Gwendolyn, Gertrude, Kathy. We also have Mrs. Muse's daughter in Vista, California. And also Miss Jacobs is doing so much better, which is a tremendous blessing. If you want to add anybody to that prayer list, give me a call, 1-800-952-PRAY. That's P-R-A-Y, because here I wear on my sleeve Christ. And I'm not here to convert you to Christ, but I'm here to tell you that's where my perspective, that's where my values, that's where my show and what I do comes from. My true identity in Christ, I'm still trying to figure out, but I really believe the Lord has blessed me by putting me in this position to be on the airwaves, to be able to talk to seniors, anybody who's at least 62, and spread the truth about the reverse mortgage, because it can be a good thing or it can be a nightmare. And the reason it becomes, the only reason it becomes a nightmare, is because someone has purposely hidden the truth from you, hidden valuable information you needed to know, so they could then financially benefit. And that's when it becomes a nightmare, because it doesn't have to be. And I'll be the first to tell you the reverse mortgage can be for every single person, whether you be the most poor person in the world financially, not the most poor if you have Christ in your life, but the most poor materialistic wise, or if you're the wealthiest person. Okay? Warren Buffett could use a reverse, absolutely. And we go over why that is possible. So today we're going to talk about that, making payments. But we're going to hit on some very important topics, especially the one that tells you that every payment made is tax deductible. 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. Remember, it's very important that I come to your wellness center, your senior center, your church, and speak to If you're a bishop listening, a pastor listening, or a church member, a layperson, it's very important I come to your church and explain this information because it's unsolicited. It's free, it's valuable information, it's priceless because it doesn't come with that harassment. I get up there, we give the glory to God, and then I deliver this message, and then that's it. I don't ask for anybody's name or number. I don't want to call anybody. Yes, it'd be a blessing if you go through me, if you decide to do the reverse, but once I've armed you with the information you need to know, you can go anywhere and get the same deal. Is that person you're dealing with willing to pony up and be ethical and give you that same deal? That's the big difference. So 1-800-952-PRAY is the number. Let's get into it. Damn, I flipped over that page. That's hilarious. Okay, so what do you control in life? How I was going to open up for you today was to talk about we don't have control in life over basically anything. Okay? Anything can happen and we just do not have control. You might say, well, no, I'm in control of my life. I got everything going on here. I've got this set up. I've got this plan. You're dead wrong. You have no control over your life whatsoever. Anything can change and just totally destroy what you thought you had planned out, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's a medical injury, whether it's some medical diagnosis you were not expecting. That altered what you thought you were controlling. Now you might think, okay, I've got all my finances set up, so therefore I control what's going on. I've got emergency funds set up. But even then, I was speaking to a lady the other day, wonderful lady. She said, you know what? We didn't do a reverse, but we properly planned. We thought we did, and I'm going to tell you, she properly planned about 99% better than most of my clients, to where they did have that emergency fund set up. They were budgeted accordingly if something, God forbid, happened. But even then, things came up. Bills came up. Things that she just didn't even think about that have been draining this lady's savings account after she lost her husband. And now she's scrambling. She's not scrambling, but she sees the writing on the wall that eventually she's going to run into trouble. So there's going to be things in your life that you think you have total control over. You've got a great job. Everything's going great. Well, if that business goes belly up, what are you going to do? Then all of a sudden you're laid off. And a lot of times people aren't prepared for that. You can walk outside of your front door and be so set up for everything. You got money set up, you got a great job, you got a great car, great family, everything. Or you're retired, you got a perfect retirement plan, you got vacation set up, and your life's gone. Somebody ran over by a car, whatever. You just don't know. So or it just became this huge medical necessity. Maybe you did survive it. There's so many things that come up that remind us that we are not in control over our life. We can try to set ourselves up accordingly to do the best possible, but something's always going to come up and it's going to change what we think we have already planned out. Now in a mortgage, so let's get on the side about mortgages. When you're paying a mortgage, I'm going to tell you from the get-go, you have no control whatsoever. The bank has the final say. The bank has every control over that mortgage. You've got nothing. You have to adhere to what their standards are, when they say to pay, how often, how much, everything is under their control. No way do you have any ability to modify that control and take some of it back, only if you decide to completely pay off that mortgage. That's the only way. And it's very hard to live a life like that, subservient to the bank's kind of control like that. Because if you don't do things correctly, okay, and if you don't do them how you're supposed to be doing them, what's going to happen is you're going to lose complete sight of that, and you're going to have no control over what happens. And if you have to stop making payments, if you were making payments and then all of a sudden you have to stop making those payments, what are you going to do? You can't just call the bank and say all of a sudden, hey, you know what? I need to stop making these payments now. Is there any way you can help me out? In a reverse mortgage, The difference is you get that full control. Remember, we talked about the definition of a reverse mortgage and how that's different than what people think. Everybody thinks a reverse mortgage is something where you're not making a payment, just your taxes and insurance. And that's absolutely wrong. That is so untrue. The truth behind the reverse and the true definition is, again, this is now a way for you, a homeowner, to have complete control over what payments are made, how much and how often they are made. That doesn't mean you still don't have payments. If you don't want to make a payment, you decided, you took control over saying, I don't want to make a payment anymore. And for a lot of people that are in the reverse, they didn't know they had that kind of control. They didn't know they could be making payments all along. Now, for some of you, it wouldn't have mattered because you would have said, hey, no matter what, I couldn't make a payment. I needed to stop making that payment, and it met that purpose. But for a lot of you that didn't know that, you then get this bad taste in your mouth because you didn't know you had that control. You didn't know you could make payments. You didn't know that you had control over how much was made and how often, that you could take a 6-month break, a full lifetime break, or every other month break, or make payments every month. You didn't know this. So therefore, something that you got into snowballed into disaster and catastrophe, because all of a sudden you've got a balance that's been running and collecting so much interest, because that's what the bank wanted. The bank didn't want you to know that you can make a payment, because for the bank, if you do not make a payment on a reverse, they profit the most. And look, again, it's okay if you don't want to make a payment, but know that it's your decision. It's your choice, not the bank's choice. In a regular mortgage, you've got no choices. You do. You pay what they say or else. That's it. But in a reverse, you have the control to pay what you say. There is no or else. It's you say what you're going to pay, if anything at all. That's the difference the bank doesn't want you to know, because if you don't make a payment, then you've got this balance going through the roof that they're guaranteed to be paid on in the future. And when they're guaranteed to be paid in the future, that's what they want, because they want your balance to go through the roof. Because if your balance goes through the roof, that's more money for them. Remember, the bank is in it for themselves, not for helping out you, not for taking care of you. You're for taking care of you. So in a reverse mortgage, it is set up for you to accomplish exactly that, for you to take care of you. Don't give the bank the strength and the ammo of you not knowing that you could have made a payment, because then what's going to happen is your balance is going to go through the roof. They're going to be guaranteed to be paid, and there's going to be less equity left in there for whoever you want to leave the house to. But know you have that control, because having that control is priceless. It's the only thing we have in this life, materialistic-wise, that you have control over. And that is you in a reverse mortgage deciding what payments you want to make and how often you want to make them, if any at all. It's priceless control. If we could, at my age, I'll be 43 in a week or so, if I could have that kind of control, it'd be phenomenal, because it would be a game changer to know that if I want to stop making a payment, I can stop. If I want to make a payment every other month, I could, without any fear, without any penalty from the bank, because I am the bank in that sense. I call the shots, and that's the difference between surviving comfortably or surviving based on somebody else's terms. 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. Anthony Miles, your Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. Remember to get my Facebook page, my YouTube page, and go to that health fair. We're going to be back in 1 sec, so sit tight, don't change that dial.